Today I'd like to welcome you to the Shred Book Club. I want to suggest 4 books today that will have a pretty huge impact on your guitar journey. What might surprise you right at the beginning is that none of these books are actually about playing guitar specifically. There are plenty of amazing guitar books out there full of exercises, music theory concepts and much more. And I'm sure you heard about the most important ones hundreds of times already. The books that I would like to recommend to all guitar players today are about habits, the compound effect, inspiring stories about absolute dedication and discipline. So the perfect reading material before you go to bed instead of binge watching a Netflix show you don't even care about that much. If there's one thing that I've learned over the last couple of years, it's that a disciplined and healthy mindset will help you out a lot when it comes to reaching your guitar goals. So let's do this and start with book number 1. So first of all, make sure to leave a comment in case you actually read some of those books we are discussing today. As always, I would love to know what you think about them as well. The first book is called The Compound Effect, and this one was written by Darren Hardy. I talked about this book and the next one briefly in a video last year. If you're subscribed to this channel and a real part of this guitar community, you might remember the episode called Why You Make No Guitar Progress. This one was all about finding the most effective guitar practice systems and figuring out the perfect practice routine in general. So let's begin with the compound effect. This is basically the book that made me realize how important daily practice sessions are and why it's much more effective than practicing for many hours in an uncoordinated and unorganized way during just some days of the week. The compound effect is based on the principle that small decisions shape your life. Small, everyday decisions will either take you to your goals or to disaster by default. A simple formula to summarize all that looks like this. Small, smart choices plus consistency plus time equals radical difference. That essentially means you probably won't have that huge breakthrough one day that suddenly makes it possible to play like you always wanted to. It's the consistency and the small results or improvements achieved with a daily practice routine that will take you there. While this does sound like a pretty basic idea, you have to practice to get better and it won't happen by itself or with any hack or magic trick. The explanations and examples in this book still made a huge difference for me. Let me quickly show you one of my absolute favorite examples from the book. If you could choose between $3 million in cash today or a penny that doubles in value every day for 31 days, which would you choose? I guess it's obvious that it's a trick question with the way I said it, but most people would probably lean towards the $3 million deal because it takes a while to see the payoff with the second option. Let's say you chose instant gratification and your friend takes the penny. On day 5, you have $3 million and your friend has 16 cents. On day 10, you probably still have $3 million in case you didn't buy all the guitars in the world by now, and your friend has $5.12. So it still kind of looks like a pretty bad deal. Even after 20 days, your friend only has around $5,000. But after 31 days, your friend ends up with over $10 million, more than 3 times your $3 million. Both are pretty good deals, of course, and there's no real loser here. But this simple and fun example shows that small results add up over time, and you can also apply all of this to your practice routines. So my suggestion is seeing those sessions as small daily habits that add up over time. You won't believe how much can actually change if you're consistent in just 1 month or 1 year. But if you give up after a couple of weeks because you don't get those instant results and that instant gratification, you won't experience the so-called compound effect. Speaking of habits, let's discuss the next book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. Atomic Habits is about understanding and building healthy habits in your life that lead to success in whichever field you want to apply them. The definition of a habit is a behavior that has been repeated enough times to become automatic. Brushing your teeth is a pretty famous example. James discusses 4 laws of behavior change in the book. Make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. So this book helps with building habits like daily practice routines by breaking down how you should approach and structure them. It ranges from easy tips like combining something you don't enjoy doing that much with something you do enjoy doing, like having your cup of morning coffee while going through your daily music theory drills, all the way to more complex breakdowns of making habits easy, satisfying, and attractive, like tracking practice sessions to turn them into an automated process as a basic example. I personally enjoyed this book and the concepts and examples featured in it quite a lot, and I constantly had to smile while I was reading it because you can apply all of this to practicing guitar. As I often mentioned already, it really has become a habit for me, and I can't really imagine starting my day in any other way than with my morning practice routine. So in case you tried to work with practice plans, practice routines, or other structured systems in the past and constantly failed, which I did more than I can count as a teenager, or if you have no experience with practice routines or habits at all, I can really recommend this book 100%. It might also help you in different areas of life aside from guitar playing, like organizing your day or work schedule effectively. Let's move to the next one now. I actually just finished it last week. It's called Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. While reading the first two books can feel like doing scientific research about human behavior, this one is a perfect fit for you in case you enjoy a good story. And this particular story is really incredible and not made up. David Goggins is an American ultramarathon runner, ultra-distance cyclist, triathlete, a retired Navy SEAL, and former United States Air Force Tactical Air Control Party member. And this is just a very brief summary of his accomplishments. The reason why I want to recommend this book for guitarists is because he encountered an insane amount of obstacles, challenges, health issues, and still somehow always found a way to achieve his goals. And if it didn't happen right away, he tried again and again, always learning something from past mistakes and never accepting defeat if he could do something about it. It's a crazy true story about an incredibly hardworking man, and I felt motivated and inspired after every single reading session. You might think the comparison between an extreme athlete and art and music is a bit odd, but I really think you will benefit from hearing stories like that a lot. You will be instantly reminded of this book whenever you find yourself blaming outside factors for your failures with the instrument or with your music career or anything like that. And aside from sharing his amazing story about overcoming the odds, David also provided some very helpful insights into his mindset and about concepts that help him with achieving these amazing things. So pick it up, you definitely won't regret it. The last book is for everybody that struggles with discipline in general, and it will kick your ass pretty hard. It's called Discipline Equals Freedom: Field Manual by Jocko Willink. This is a very simple and straightforward book about self-discipline, and I especially recommend the audiobook version narrated by Jocko himself. You can find it on Spotify, and I added the link in the description below. It's just much more intense, and it will get you fired up for anything you have to do in a matter of seconds. You might not be a fan of those kind of self-help books that seem to be full of pretty obvious messages, like you have to work hard to achieve your goals. It probably won't always be a lot of fun, and you have to stay on track to become a better guitar player. But these words might really help you out in the morning or whenever you need that motivation to keep pushing. As I said, you probably won't feel like working hard and practicing every single day, but I'm sure that you have this big goal or dream in your mind when it comes to playing guitar. This is something we all share. Some of us want to be the best in the world, and others just really want to play their absolute favorite songs on the instrument. All of this requires different levels of hard work, dedication, and focus. And as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, the right kind of mindset, work ethic, and discipline will make it much easier for you to get there. So if you have a hard time getting out of bed to practice every morning, or if you can't motivate yourself to practice after an exhausting workday, or if you constantly fail at completing your daily objectives and to-do lists and simply just feel like giving up, I can really suggest listening to this audiobook. It can really make a difference. Jocko is a guitar player as well, by the way, and if he ever gets to see this, I'd like to thank him for the inspiration. Waking up very early every day made a huge difference for me, and I would have never made this much progress in the last couple of years if I hadn't chosen a healthier lifestyle and work ethic. I really hope that you enjoyed the very first episode of our Shred Book Club. Please let me know in the comments if we should do this more often here on the channel. Of course, I'd also love to discuss guitar or music theory books in the future, but I thought it's a great idea to start out with books today that you might have actually never heard about. And I think you will like them a lot in case you want to learn more about the human behavior, habits, the compound effect, discipline, or just inspiring stories about absolute dedication. Since we talked about habits so much in this video, reading is a great one, of course, and it will make you smarter and better at what you're doing. Reading these books might inspire you to try out completely new things. They might even motivate you to become a better version of yourself, or at least the stories and examples featured in them will entertain you quite a bit. So make sure to leave a comment to tell me about your personal favorite books and if you actually read some of these books we discussed today. In the end, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like before you go, and I will see you very, very soon.